Hey everyone, welcome back to TV Deep Dive. I'm your host, Amelia, and today we're breaking down the explosive ninth episode of CBS's Beyond the Gates. And wow, what an episode it was. If you've been following our recaps, you know this show has been building to something massive. And episode 9, titled House of Cards, finally delivers the confrontations we've been waiting for all season. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns. This is your official spoiler warning. We're covering everything that happened in this game changing episode. If you haven't watched yet, go do that first, then come back and join us. Trust me, you don't want this one spoiled. After last week's shocking revelation about the true ownership of Oakwood Estates land, episode 9 sees the community in full crisis mode. The carefully constructed hierarchy is crumbling, alliances are shifting by the minute, and almost every character finds themselves at a critical decision point. House of Cards centers around the emergency board meeting called by Vernon to address the leaked documents. But the episode brilliantly weaves between multiple confrontations happening simultaneously throughout the community. The structure creates this perfect pressure cooker feeling, with tensions that have been simmering for 8 episodes finally boiling over. Director uses a fascinating visual approach this episode, starting with very structured, symmetrical shots that gradually become more chaotic and handheld as the community's order breaks down. It's subtle, but effective visual storytelling that reinforces how quickly control is slipping away from those who've held it for so long. Danny finally went public with the documents proving her father, Vernon, illegally acquired the land for Oakwood Estates through a dummy corporation that displaced a historic black neighborhood. The Thomas sisters had a dramatic falling out when Eva discovered Leslie was secretly working with Bill Hamilton to orchestrate Vernon's downfall. Ted confessed to Nicole that their financial problems stemmed from his gambling addiction, not business failures as he'd claimed. Chelsea and Naomi Hamilton found themselves at odds over their father's manipulation, with Naomi threatening to reveal Bill's own ethical violations. Martin and Smitty reconciled after Martin finally stood up to his family's prejudices and publicly defended their relationship. Anita began secretly moving assets, suggesting she might have been preparing for Vernon's fall all along. These converging storylines set the stage for the most explosive episode of the season so far. The centerpiece of this episode is the emergency board meeting called to address the scandal. This 15-minute sequence is a masterclass in building tension, with alliances shifting moment by moment. Vernon enters with his typical confidence, clearly believing he can control the narrative. The cinematography here is brilliant. Vernon is initially framed in powerful, dominant positions, but as the meeting progresses, he's increasingly shot from above or through obstacles, visually representing his loss of power. When Vernon attempts to dismiss the documents as fabricated, Eva Thomas unexpectedly stands and confirms their authenticity based on her own research. The shock on Vernon's face marks the first time we've seen him truly blindsided. Bill Hamilton's calculated move to call for Vernon's immediate removal as board chairman seems like opportunism, but a brilliant flashback sequence reveals he's known about the land fraud for years and was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In perhaps the episode's most shocking moment, Anita neither defends nor condemns Vernon. Her carefully worded statement about community integrity positions her as separate from Vernon's actions while not directly betraying him. The ambiguity of her loyalty creates fascinating tension. The board meeting eventually erupts into multiple heated arguments that perfectly represent the ideological divide in the community. Those who believe in protecting Oakwood's image at all costs versus those demanding accountability and restitution. The scene ends with Vernon storming out after losing the chairman vote, but not before delivering a chilling warning that Oakwood Estates was built on more secrets than just this one, setting up intriguing possibilities for the season finale. The confrontation between Vernon, Anita, and Danny at their home after the meeting is easily one of the season's most emotionally raw scenes. Vernon's sense of betrayal by his daughter, Danny's passionate defense of her principles, and Anita's complex position between them creates devastating family drama. The dialogue here is exceptional, particularly when Vernon asks, Do you have any idea what I had to do to create this world for you? And Danny responds, That's exactly the problem, Dad. I finally do. The scene reveals how deeply their worldviews have diverged. Vernon seeing his actions as necessary sacrifices, while Danny views them as fundamental moral failures. Nicole's decision to publicly stand by Ted, despite his gambling revelation, creates tension with her parents, especially when she declares her intention to sell her shares in Dupree Developments to help Ted enter rehabilitation. This marks a crucial step in Nicole's character development, choosing her marriage over family loyalty and financial security. The scene between Bill and his daughters shows how his triumph over Vernon feels hollow as he loses his children's respect. Naomi's decision to move out after discovering her father's role in the scandal creates a powerful parallel to the Dupree family crisis, both patriarchs winning business battles while losing their families. The unlikely alliance between Martin Richardson and Danny Dupree, previously on opposite sides because of their families, creates fascinating possibilities. Their late night meeting to discuss creating a foundation to benefit the displaced original community shows how the younger generation might forge a different path forward. The twist revealing Leslie Thomas was playing both Vernon and Bill against each other demonstrates her character's depth. Her confrontation with Eva about their own family, having been displaced from the original neighborhood, adds emotional weight to her manipulations and complicates our view of her as simply power hungry. Smitty emerging as a mediating voice during the community forum shows his growth from outsider to moral center. His medical background gives weight to his speech about treating the disease, not just the symptoms, of community division. Perhaps most intriguing is the final scene showing Anita meeting secretly with Chelsea Hamilton, suggesting an alliance that could reshape the community power structure entirely. Their cryptic discussion of what comes next creates perfect suspense heading toward the season finale. Nicole's breakdown after standing by Ted publicly while privately fearing their marriage might not survive. His addiction shows the emotional complexity behind the polished facades. The scene of her alone in their bedroom, removing her jewelry piece by piece, serves as a powerful metaphor for stripping away pretense. After years as the community's central figure, Vernon finds himself increasingly alone. The visual storytelling here is exceptional. Vernon shown in his vast home office, surrounded by symbols of success but separated from any human connection. His brief moment of vulnerability, looking at old family photos, adds dimension to his character. Eva's confession to Reverend Mitchell about her complicity in community secrets creates a poignant exploration of guilt and redemption. Her question, at what point does silence become approval? Capsulates a central theme of the entire series. Her investigation into her college friend's family history leads to the discovery that her friend's grandmother was one of the community leaders who fought against the original displacement and who mysteriously disappeared during the height of the protests. When Naomi presents her research to Chelsea, suggesting their father might have knowledge about this disappearance, Chelsea's defensive reaction creates a devastating rift between the sisters. This subplot brilliantly connects the past injustices to present-day consequences, suggesting the original sin of Oakwood's creation has created generational trauma that continues to ripple outward. The scene ends with Naomi sending her research to Danny, creating another unexpected alliance that will surely impact the season finale. After years of veiled threats, Vernon and Bill finally have their no-holds-barred confrontation at the Oakwood Club. Vernon's accusation that "you're not taking me down without coming down yourself" leads to Bill's chilling response. "Maybe that's a price I'm willing to pay." Their mutual assured destruction pact suggests explosive revelations still to come. Leslie forcing her sister to choose sides by presenting evidence that could implicate Ava in document fraud years ago creates impossible stakes for Eva's character. Her decision will likely be a pivotal moment in the finale. While Vernon fights external battles, Anita methodically meets with board members and community leaders, clearly positioning herself separately from her husband's scandal. The final reveal that she's been in contact with the FBI suggests she might be cooperating against Vernon to protect herself and their children. The episode ends with Vernon receiving a text message with simply an address and time, leading him to drive to an undisclosed location as night falls over Oakwood Estates. This cliffhanger perfectly sets up what promises to be an explosive season finale. The central question becomes whether Oakwood Estates can survive learning the truth about its foundation. The episode doesn't offer easy answers about whether preservation or transformation is the right path forward. Almost every character faces questions about what they owe to the past and to the future. Vernon's justification that I did what was necessary contrasts with Danny's insistence that necessary doesn't make it right, highlighting the generational divide in how they view moral compromise. Vernon and Bill's confrontation reveals how even seemingly all powerful figures remain vulnerable. The episode suggests that power built on secrets is inherently unstable. Through characters like Eva, Ted, and even Vernon in his more reflective moments, the episode explores whether past wrongs can be meaningfully addressed or if some actions permanently define a person's character. 1. Who sent Vernon the mysterious text, and what will he discover at that location? 2. Is Anita positioning herself to take over Vernon's empire, or is she working to protect the family legacy? 3. Will Nicole and Ted's marriage survive both his addiction revelation and the family scandal? 4. What happened to the community activist who disappeared during the original protests, and is Bill Hamilton involved? 5. How will the revelation of Oakwood's origins change the community permanently? Based on the story arcs so far, I predict the finale will feature at least one major character facing legal consequences, a significant restructuring of the community leadership, and perhaps most importantly, some form of reconciliation with representatives from the displaced original community. Beyond the Gates continues to deliver exceptional drama that balances soap opera elements with meaningful social commentary. Episode 9 masterfully pays off character developments and plot threads that have been building all season while setting up what promises to be an unforgettable finale. The performances this episode were particularly outstanding, with delivering a tour de force portrayal of a man watching his life's work crumble before him. What did you think of this episode? Were you surprised by Anita's potential betrayal? Do you think Vernon and Bill will both go down, or will one emerge victorious? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe for our finale recap coming next week. Until then, I'm Amelia, and thanks for watching TV Deep Dive.